the world I close my eyes to see. I close my eyes to see. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams that keep me, a million dreams, a million dreams. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all that's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make. It would be appropriate to thank Ryder, that's my grandson. It is so good to see you. And many of you know this is the third night of the grand opening. And again, even though we're kind of dressed up, we really see this as just, like almost a gathering in our living room with family. You all are friends from way back, many of you literally 30 and 35 years since Brenda and I came here in 1987. And so again, we're so glad to see you all. We have students and parents that are here tonight, and just an array of people from the community and family, most importantly, that are here. A family from Denver. Let me just introduce the families. Justin, my eldest, is from Denver, and his wife Christine is here. And there's Ryder and Miller and Tyler and Carter. There you are, young man. There you go. So that's them. They're from Denver. And my next oldest is Nathan, and this is his wife Courtney. She's hiding in that room. She's coming out momentarily, but this is our granddaughter Halston. They're here. They live in town. And then, of course, my youngest, my sweet girl, is Ansley. Family in the front row, and again, some more family in the back, mom and dad. And so again, it's just good to have you here. I was thinking as we prepared for this night, I was reminded of an evening that we were traveling in Maine. And many of you have experienced this. And when it's the first time you experience this, and this was the case for me, we were traveling in Maine up in the mountains at night. And you're just kind of driving along, but then you begin to realize, and there are no lights. And so we pulled off to the side of the road. And as a family got out of the car and looked up into the sky, and the unbelievable blanket of stars that literally cover the sky that we don't see, and just overwhelmed by the bigness of God, how big He is and vast He is. And I was reminded of the passage in Isaiah 40. Verse 22, it says, "It is He who sits above the circle of the earth, and its inhabitants are like grasshoppers, who stretches out the heavens like a curtain and spreads them like a tent to dwell in." And then in verse 26 is a verse that we'll be singing a song that uses this verse. It says, "Lift up your eyes on high and see who created these things. He who brings out their host by number, calling them," is this not amazing? "Calling them all by name." It's amazing how big He is. by the greatness of his might, and because he is strong in power, not one is missing. With all that we have been going through, our world has been going through over the last year or so, and whatever you may be going through personally, can I just give you the great assurance that he is a big God, and he has this. He has this. God's got this. This is not a surprise to you. And whatever you may be going through, I just want you to know that he cares. And he expresses that care through many, many ways. We see his care even through many of you who have encouraged us through this whole process. But he cares. I'm reminded of another that just relates to that, of a teacher who walks into a classroom and puts a big white piece of paper on the wall, tapes a big white piece of paper on the wall, and in the corner of that big white piece of paper, he puts a little dot in the corner with a pencil, just a little dot, and turns to the classroom and says, "What do you see?" And guess what they say? "We see the dot." Everybody kind of says, "I see the dot. I see the dot that you drew on this vast space." And again, we can be so overwhelmed by the dots. The dots. The little things that happen in our lives. And I want you to know that many of you know Brenda, and I believe she helps children be reminded of all the good things and the vastness of our God. That he's in control of all these things, whatever little things may be happening from day to day. That he's in charge. He really is in charge. And they come and their imaginations go wild. I didn't share this last night, but many of you can't see this. This is just Brenda's sense of humor, you might say. You see the fox up here? The little animal sitting on the little table? Well, look how he's dressed. He's dressed to go fox hunting. Now, is that not ironic? I mean, that's his Brenda, and it's just humorous. And everything she does with the kids, she takes them into another world, and she is so encouraging. I see some of the students, and I know how much I see her with the virtual world that we've done, where I see her day in and day out, encouraging them even virtually. But now many of them are coming, obviously, here. But again, we want to welcome you to this night of celebration of what the first song declared, of just dreams that have in many ways come true for us in many ways, and in many ways due to your encouragement and some of you, the work that you've done to assist us in this process. And again, just being friends is something that we want to share with you, because all of you in some way have been a part of our lives, and we're just grateful for it. And we pray that you would come away from tonight with a sense of hope and encouragement as we move forward in this crazy world at times, and just that you would sense a hope that comes from a God who cares. Even though he numbers the stars, he names the stars, he cares for us enough to send his only son to die on our behalf. And so we give him praise tonight, and we thank you for coming and celebrating with us. Thanks so much.
Starting with
I saw the sun begin to dim and felt the winter wind blow cold. A man learns who is there for him when the glitter fades and the walls won't hold. 'Cause from that rubble one remains, can only be what's true. If all was lost, it's more I gain, 'cause it led me back to you. From now on, these eyes will not be blinded by the lights. From now on, what's waited till tomorrow starts tonight. Tonight. Let this promise in me start like an anthem in my heart. From now on, from now on.
Those are someone else's dreams, pitfalls of the man I became. We were in our lesson on a Friday, and he goes, Miss Edwards, guess what we're going to do tonight? We're going to go see The Greatest Showman. I was like, my husband's out of town, can I go with you? So I went with him, and just saw it, and I loved watching his face and seeing it for the first time. He kept turning to me going, this is awesome. So I just love that song because that song is particularly special to me. Because some of you know, we sold our house that the kids grew up in 4 years ago to buy this property. It was full of trees, 2.5 acres of trees. And we lived with a friend for 19 months, and we were in an apartment, and then we moved in with my mom and dad. And so now we have a home again, and we are going to be there. And I told the kids, you're not putting me in a nursing home later. You're bringing me in hospice, and I'm going to die on the property and never leaving. We're so excited. Well, we've been practicing every Monday night to get ready for tonight. And a couple weeks ago, about a week and a half ago, I found this music in the piano bench, and I had been thinking, and I had mentioned it to Ed, and he had said, no, we're not doing it. So I found the music, and I just pulled it out, and I said, Ian said, when you start playing, let's just try it. Just try it. Just humor me and try it. So they did, and they decided to do it for you, and they're going to sing opera for you. Because when we first met, we met at Illinois State University, and Ed was going to have an opera career. And my senior year of college at Illinois State University, we were both music majors, he proposed to me, and then he went off to New York City because he said that he wanted for my father to pay for my 4th year of college. So my parents graciously did that, and he went off to study voice in New York City. And while he was there, his teacher that had been with him had never married, and this was her former teacher. And they were both in their 80s, and then they all, the two of them, he was a widow, they got married right when we did, and she was a newlywed at 80-something. It was amazing. So he was 87. He was the former head of the vocal department at Juilliard, and he was still teaching at 87, which is amazing. I want to still be teaching at 87. And Justin was just a baby, and this was our piano. We bought it and had it in this little teeny apartment, and his crib literally touched the keys. That's how tiny the apartment was. And we would sit in his little car seat on there, and we'd go in the city every Saturday and take our voice lessons. And God just didn't work out for him to be an opera singer. Every time, the only way you can really break into the opera world is if you're an understudy and somebody gets sick, and then you kind of get your foot in the door. And every time they called him, we always had an engagement because the two of us were singing together at the time. And it never happened, and God shut that door and opened other doors, and that's how we ended up here in Jacksonville. So they're going to do one of the most famous songs. It's called Nessun Dorma, with 3 tenors.
And as I've said every night, many of you have seen the 3 tenors do this, I'm sure. And, but we're not competitive at all. Not a single bit. Not at all. Do your best.
Dad wins automatically.
12 and Justin was 16. And I walked into a homeschool convention in Orlando and I saw these blocks. It was a man who was trying to help his students see the connection between music and math. And so he made them incremental to show the music scale. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And my brain went wacko crazy. That summer, Ed was on a sabbatical. We had 3 months off to travel around the country. And I didn't teach for 3 months, and so I didn't have anything else to do, and so I was inventing all this stuff. And all the rooms in the whole building are because of these blocks. Each room is a different color, each room is a different character. Dobie is the white block, he's Dobie, the dog, which is Justin's character. Raina, the ladybug, is actually standing by her door. That's Raina, the ladybug. She's Ansley. And then Michele, the frog, is the Harold, he's the library. Fabricia, that's the art room that we didn't get done. Sorry about that, we just ran out of time. I didn't get it done. So Bear, the meadowlark, is here. And Lauder's the turtle, Nathan is the turtle, and Tina the skunk is the sewing room. And then Ed is the king, he's King Woodrow Wordsworth, he's here, and my room is Queen Patty. Now, they're going to do two songs for you from a musical I wrote. It's called A Portrait King Christmas. And they vetoed me wearing the costumes tonight. This is their excuse. And my husband said, I can't see the words with my mouse mask on. So anyway, I let it go because next year he's going to have to know it by heart and he's going to have to wear the mouse costume. And Nathan's not too excited about the turtle costume either, but you know. So both of these songs in the musical, the animals are doing a pageant and the three characters are dressed up as the three kings and they're on their way to see the baby Jesus be born. And then after that, the next song, he's called Son of Darkness. One of the characters in the musical is a caterpillar, Fabricia. And she doesn't want to have anything to do with the Lord. And they're trying to convince her that God has called us out of darkness into his marvelous light. And actually, she rejects the Lord for 3 musicals. First one, second one, it's not until the third one that caterpillar, something happens to her. And of course, you know, she turns into a butterfly. But we have to wait 3 musicals for that. We have to come back lots of times to see it. So we're going to do Lift Up Your Eyes on High, the 3 guys again, and then our family will do the other one, who's called Son of Darkness.
Not one of them, not one of them is missing.
Well, as you know, we built this again as just our prayer from the very beginning has been, something that people would be drawn to because of a sense of there's something different about this place. And we do hear that. We hear that from folks just since we've been here, people spouting in just from the neighborhood. And just the sense that they have. I remember, stories of Brenda coming home and, some of the children coming out of the classroom and saying, this is the most best day I've ever had in my life. And literally just saying that to their moms. And again, with all the desire to know that people sense a presence that in this place that we believe to be the Lord. And so it is something that we want this building to be used for His honor and for His glory. And I've asked a friend from Christmas to come and share, not share, merely pray for a dedication of the building. I didn't ask him to share anything. He can share something if he wants, but I didn't ask him to share. But just to pray and again, to dedicate this building to His honor and to His glory. And Chris, thanks so much for coming tonight.
Well, before I pray, I got to say, I was reminded how the scriptures say, where there is no vision, the people perish. But I thank you all for reminding us that not only when we dream dreams, but when we hold on to them and we relentlessly pursue them, no matter how long it takes, no matter how many obstacles there are, and we keep pursuing them until we see them realized, then the people thrive. And you all are thriving in this place. And I'm sure that the rest of us that get to experience it just like tonight, and the students that learn here are going to thrive. So thank you for that reminder. It's just a special thing, but a long-held dream. So let me pray for us about the blessing, please. Lord, you say that in your word that you inhabit the praises of your people. And your people are here. And they are full of praise. We have seen it tonight, and we know it will be part of the daily experience here. So by your promise, you will be here. You will be inhabiting this place. Your spirit will be working and moving. And Father, that is always an exciting thing. It is always a life-changing thing. It always makes the people that come in contact with it better. And I pray that for this dear family, for Ed and Brenda and all the kids and all who are touched by their vision and their pursuit with passion of that vision. And I pray you bless them. I pray you keep them safe, you give them wisdom. You help them as they reach out and touch and help others to grow. And these young kids that get to experience this, may they just thrive and blossom through their loving tutelage and care. And Father, for this time that we've had together, I'm so thankful. And I just pray that you guide us as we go into this season of Thanksgiving. In spite of all the craziness that we're dealing with, we have so much to be thankful for. And thank you for the reminder of that tonight. And again, bless these dear people in this incredible ministry. And we ask all of that in Jesus' name. Amen.
We're just going to take a couple minutes to sing some songs and praise to God. And I had forgotten to say earlier, the one thing that I learned on this 21-year journey is that God is a God of miracles. And the only way that this building happened was God just kept showing up and doing miracle after miracle after miracle. And if you knew all the things that He did for us to make this happen, you would be in awe. And we're so thankful. We know it's is not our thing. It's not our barn. It's His vision He put in us, but He's allowed us to come along for the ride. We're so grateful.
Seated at your table.
Ortiz family tonight who's back here. I just want to thank you for that. When I was 7 years old, so I'm 61 now, so we're talking 54 years ago, they made an investment in me. They paid $3.50 for piano lessons. And I think they got a good return on that. So thank you. And I said last night, Mom and Dad were just such great encouragers to all of us kids. My sister's here tonight, my brother's here from Nevada. My other brother's coming tomorrow. They were just such great encouragers to us growing up. It was a lovely home. And when we went to Disneyland, we lived in Illinois. When we came to Disney World, this is what we did. My dad made a schedule of all the shows. And if you had time in between the shows, you could go on the rides. But the point of Disney World was the shows. And then you wonder why I write musicals. He installed that in me as a kid. I can still remember hearing Can Can for the first time. I thought it was the coolest song ever. That's dun 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 dun. That's my dad. But anyway, thank you, Mom and Dad. Thank you. I was praying.
Just a final thank you again to many in this room. Again, you have encouraged us. I was thinking of the illustration of a boxer. I grew up when I considered boxing to be a real sport. I mean, in the Olympics, it was a beautiful sport. It really was, way back in the day, in my opinion. And so, again, but part of the unique piece of it that I was kind of reminded of was you have a fighter who's going out there and in some respects is just getting pumped. Just going out into the ring, and the other guy is just way better than he is. And he's getting pummeled round after round. And yet he goes back into that corner. And, you know, I don't know what they're saying to him, but he goes back out there again. And continues to fight. And most more than likely, you just hear it, even though he's getting beat, you're doing great, you got it right where you want him, we got this, and they're putting that salve all over his face and doing all that kind of stuff and trying to take care of him. And I did think that there was an appropriateness to that illustration for how at times, as we have walked through this, that we felt like we were getting a little beat up. And you do. Chris, as you prayed so appropriately, there are times when you're attempting to walk out a dream, a vision, that you feel like you're getting beat up because so many things are happening that you kind of go, gosh, what are we going to do now? What are we going to do now? And I want you to know that many people in this room not only were praying, but were bringing words of encouragement, whether it be parents of students that encouraged us along this way, and people in our church, and just so many people and family members. And there have just been so many. And every night I say, I can't start naming names because it wouldn't make any sense. I'd have to start naming everybody in the room, and it just doesn't make any sense. And so just know that we are so grateful and would continue to ask for your continued prayers as we press forward and press on in what God has called us to. Again, hope to one thing that I hope to do is start, and I've said this before, but it's going to happen again. It's one of those things is to start a community choir that just draws people from around the community and just to sing. People love to sing, and also want to start a children's choir. So again, those are things that I'd like to give myself to a bit more in the near future, and helping Brenda just. It's going to grow. We know it's going to grow, and it's going to have some demands. And so, again, we do ask for your prayers as we move forward to just reach out in this small community, just being in this place. People, like I said, they just stop in. They just stop in, and we want them to know that they're comfortable to do that they should be comfortable. So, again, thank you so much for your help and your prayers, and we're excited about what God has in store in the future. Oh, that's right. Pumpkin bread. Orchard Kingdom pumpkin bread. It's going to become famous, I'm telling you. Orchard Kingdom pumpkin bread. It's really good. It's for dessert. We have cider from Vermont. It's really tasty. And some coffee and some iced tea. So thanks so much. What